Yo, what's up? This is Virtue, the hip hop anchor, and you tuned in for another edition of the Anchor Show. I'm especially happy today because I got my man J.Bully in the house with me, man. What's up, J.Bully?
What's good? What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to give you like a little slight introduction, and I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody can do it like you. But this is my man J.Bully from the Bull City. He's a radio host out here. I consider him like one of my big homies because most of the cats that I chop it up with, they're like either like from my kind of same era, you know what I'm saying, or some other cats that I kind of took under my wing. So usually I'm in a situation where I'm like teaching other cats about hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But rarely do I come across a dude like yourself that like I'm humbled by and I gotta learn from. So to me, you like one of the big homies. So I'm like honored to have you on the show today, man. So much appreciated. So, but like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself so you can say everything that I didn't say. So go ahead and do that for me.
Hey, man. Yeah. So, J.Bully, man. I've been doing a lot of different things in hip hop my whole life as far as I can remember, man.
Right.
One of the things I do is I teach a hip hop class at Duke University. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that for last 16 years, actually.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too, man. Just to, you know what I mean, just to kind of put the audience up on like what a special position that is. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as I know, I think there's only just Ninth Wonder out here that teaches a hip hop class. Is there anybody else that you know of that teaches a hip hop class out here?
Pierce Freeline has done it before.
Okay.
I do believe. Desana Hanu, I think, has taught various different types of classes. So it kind of depends, man. I was the first for sure around
here. But even still now, it's only a handful of people, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the beauty of it, man, is that when I started teaching a long time ago hip hop on a collegiate level, you really didn't have maybe 40 classes, nationwide of any description. Right. And now, you'll hear about more artists, more, people, teaching and things like that. Nas did his time at Harvard. Ninth had an opportunity to do a research stint at Harvard and things like that. So, hip hop is just the music form is only a few decades old. So it took a while for people to really start to accept it as it's going to be. You know what I mean? One of the challenges of hip hop is that our music form is different from everything else, but the universal acceptance of it and the ubiquity of it at this point, you have to, whether you like to listen to classical music or jazz or whatever, you kind of have to accept hip hop as or rap music as a form of or a musical genre that's here to stay, and certainly keeps developing and keeps evolving. So
yeah, and probably one of the most influential that's come out so far. So as far as your class, man, tell me a little bit more about what you teach up there. What type of class size you dealing with? Do folks have homework?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, it's it's Duke, man. So that has to be it's a serious class. So when I first designed the class, man, it was an opportunity that came to me, and I was very happy to get it. And what I was trying to do was put together a class that I would enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had an opportunity to take a class, on a collegiate level about hip hop, what would I want to do? I'm in the music department. I'm not, a lot of the hip hop classes across the country in the world at this point are probably, a lot of them are going to be focused in the African American studies, or some are in anthropology. So you have lots of different ones that aren't really in music, but I'm in the music department. So I had an opportunity to make sure it was focused on the music, which is a byproduct of hip hop culture. I have to keep reminding people of that. So I'll do it online, talking about how hip hop was this and that, hip hop culture. I was like, well, don't conflate hip hop culture and rap music. Rap music is a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sometimes it's malt liquor and sometimes it's fine wine. You know what I'm saying? And so, people that try to, conflate the two, you have to remember that, hip hop is much bigger than the music form. And that's something people have to remember.
So I mean, what type of stuff? What's a typical day in your class like?
Yeah, so what I did, man, was I put together a class called Hip Hop Rap Music Appreciation, and basically what I do is I teach them how to rap. Okay. So it starts out. Obviously, you have to have some type of appreciation for what has come before. So we kind of talk about hip hop culture, how it started, Cool Herc, and all that good stuff. Then we kind of obviously bridge into the four elements, DJing, MCing, graffiti, breakdancing, and then kind of go from there.
But on the four element, is beatboxing the fifth element?
Well, so it's a couple different ways to look at that, man. Some people say beatboxing. I've said beatboxing most of my life, but another one, especially if you talk to somebody that's from the Zulu Nation, they're going to tell you knowledge is the fifth element. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge of self. So I kind of in class now I definitely teach both because I think that both of them have a presence in hip hop culture. Certainly, beatboxing, especially in its current form, obviously comes from hip hop, but there were some predecessors, in jazz and other musical forms. But beatboxing is uniquely hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's the version of it now is more of an international thing. And it's kind of all over the world. It's more popular in Eastern Europe than it is in the United States right now, man. I mean, if you go search beatboxing battle championships and stuff like that online, man, you'll see all types of people from all types of cultures beatboxing. A lot of the beatboxing now is like, it almost sounds like it's dubstep. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like they've kind of gone into EDM with the beatboxing. It's kind of crazy, man. It's real crazy. Like if you check it out, but and then obviously, man, hip hop culture was founded on us representing ourselves and our struggle and giving a voice to the marginalized. So having knowledge of self is the only way that you can really give a voice to yourself. You have to know who you are. You have to be able to articulate that voice in some manner in order to get it out. So knowledge of self is also extremely important and relevant to hip hop culture. So you got those.
For me, it's important, but it don't seem like it's as important in hip hop culture these days.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the thing, man. And one of the things we always have to remember, man, is that the media and record labels and companies, even though a lot of people are independent now, it's still influenced by what the majors do. Yeah. They're going to give us what makes them money, man. We have to go seek what's going to, make us, wiser. Yeah. Sometimes, it's not always readily available like that. It's certainly not thrown at us like some of the, other stuff that's trash is. So. Yeah,
what they going to spoon feed you isn't always nutritious. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So after the four elements, we kind of dive into the technical aspects of rap, man. You know what I mean? Right. MC skill sets. We talk about the parts of the hip hop song, kind of teach them songwriting in a way.
Right.
Throughout the semester, they're transcribing some hip hop classics like Lottie Dottie and Flavor in Your Ear, and I think I do various different MC Light songs. It just depends on which year it is. Sometimes I do I Cram to Understand You. Sometimes I do.
So y'all like take a song and like analyze it basically.
We do that some, but it's mostly I'm like I said, I'm trying to teach them how to rap, right? So mostly the transcriptions are teaching them how to pen, how to actually write a rhyme. What I mean? Just the same way we have to teach someone how to write a sonnet or somehow how to write a haiku, you have to kind of teach them how to write a rhyme, but there's so many different ways. So one of the greatest ways to do that is just to expose them to the fact that, okay, if you start listening to this song from the perspective of a songwriter, what do you start to hear? You know what I'm saying? Right. Even when one of the big goals of the class is to take what you've learned in that class and just apply it to listening to music for the rest of your life. When you have these conversations about hip hop, come from a technical perspective, give them something objective and not just subjective, information to make your argument or to make your point.
Right. So, hey, have you had to teach cats how to like count bars and stuff?
Yeah. So count bars is part of that because at the end of the semester, after we go through the skill sets, then we branch out into production, DJing and stuff like that, just overviews of those areas. But I take them in the lab and we record songs in groups based on genres of hip hop.
Right.
So Every year, you know what I'm saying, it's at least 5 songs that come out of the class.
Okay.
Various different things, man. So I got a huge catalog of songs.
That's dope.
They gotta go find beats that, like, back in the days I used to provide beats for them from all the different producers I knew.
Right.
Beats for. So the internet wasn't as
a place to shop.
Wasn't the same type of farm. Yeah, it wasn't a place to shop the same kind of way. But now they can just go find beats, you know what I'm saying? And they'll go find beats and, bring them in and spit. So I just finished recording for this semester. So I got 5 songs to mix before next Wednesday.
So are most of the people in your class, are they artists, or are they like just fans and want to know more about hip hop for the most part?
Mostly fans, man. I've had a few artists, come through the class. There've been some people who've gone on to, have, minor or major music careers, as a matter of fact. But most of them are just kids who are interested in it. It's an elective. It covers a music, credit. Duke is a liberal arts, school. So you've got a lot of different things that you have to take in addition to your major studies. So, it covers something. And again, I think it's the way we put the class together, the way I put the class together, man, I think it's enjoyable. And I think that it's something that you can take with you for the rest of your life. It's hip hop, rap music appreciation. I want them to appreciate it. And again, the reason why I take them in the lab, you can't appreciate anything until you try it. Rap sounds easy when you're sitting there listening to it, but until you try it, it's a different game. So I take them in the lab and I make sure they understand it's not as easy to do what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It sounds easy and fun.
Right. Many of them shine, man. Yeah, many of them shine, man. I mean, I'm really impressed, especially as time has gone on. Rap is more ubiquitous. So your average person has way more exposure to hip hop and rap than they did even 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So these kids, a lot of them are coming in spitting hot fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. People that you would normally, that would never, 90% of my students, have never recorded a song before they do it in that class. So, 10%, are there. Got other guys and ladies who just, put their all into it for that moment. You know what I'm saying? And, it's crazy results, man.
Hey, I'm glad to hear you say that, because it seemed like 90% of people do record songs these days.
Yeah, I was it's funny, man. What was I listening to? I was listening to somebody's album. It might have been like 38 Specials, one of the 38 Specials.
Right.
Albums or something. And they were saying, that back in the day, it cost money to get in the studio. Yeah. And so if you didn't know somebody that had the money, if you ain't had the money, you couldn't make a song. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do that. Now anybody, you make songs at your house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you don't need, all you need is a computer, man. You really don't even hardly need a mic, man. The way some of these guys, can mix stuff and all of that, you don't even need a good mic anymore. So,
man, but back then you couldn't even start until you went and got something to record on, which is gonna cost you a little something. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go in there with some ADATs or some DAT tapes or something.
Right, and the conversation like I said, on that project, the conversation was that, there's this intersection of hip hop in the streets. And, it was because a lot of the guys, the only person they knew that had enough money to get them in that studio were guys from the streets. And, guys from the streets in general, if they're real dudes from the streets, they're probably trying to figure out a way to get off the streets.
Real
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it was always that intersection in hip hop, you know what I mean? And, it's always going to be there, because it was just, back in the day, it was unattainable to get in the studio unless you knew somebody had some serious money. And most of us, just don't have serious money. So, there's that intersection.
And somebody gonna be upset at you for spending a bunch of money on doing a recording. You gonna hear it from somebody.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why everybody had to conform and bend and shape themselves to get signed to labels, because they couldn't afford to, sit in the lab and put together an album. Because they didn't have the equipment. Computers weren't there. You know what I'm saying? Computers make things accessible and make things. It leveled the playing field tremendously. And then when you start talking about MP3s, the impact that MP3s made. I mean, I've been making music since you had to press vinyl, bro, and vinyl is expensive as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah.
You know, and so it is a very expensive process to get something on a piece of vinyl.
Yeah.
And then the vinyl itself was expensive, and then it takes a lot to get it to where you needed to get it. And, you know, so it's a totally different game, you know, from, you know, doing a song and immediately having access to hundreds of thousands of people to music, if you've got that type of following. So very different.
So, man, it seems like once people would hear that there's a hip hop class on campus, like that just, to me, it seemed like that class will book up real fast, man. Like, how's your class sizes been like over the years since you've been doing this?
So in general, man, my class is capped at 25, and I always have at least 25. There have been some semesters when they've asked me, because my waiting list, I always have a waiting list.
Right.
Even this year, you know, I told like 3 or 4 people, you know, can't do it because COVID, number one. You know, my class is already full. I try to have it over full. You know, but you know, it's been a very popular class, man. I've been very fortunate that, you know, word of mouth, you know, keeps the class popular. You know, back in the day, I used to do way more performances. So, you know, the students used to actually come see their teacher perform during the year. And, you know, so that was kind of cool. But it's always full, man. I always got at least 25. I used to teach every semester. I only teach once a year now.
Right.
You know, in the fall semester. You know, who knows if that'll change or go up or go down. But, you know, it's really a blessing and an honor to be a true, because I'm hip hop, dude. You know what I mean? I'm
no doubt.
Right now. I got it fuzzed out because I need to clean up in here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in my studio right now, man. You know, and I just put out an album in August. You know what I mean? And you know, you and me been working on some stuff, and you know it. You know, this is what I do. So it's an honor to be a true representative of this culture and this music form, and be able to teach people about it. You know, in a respected context. You know what I'm saying?
In that forum.
It's very you know, just honor. I'm honored to be able to do that.
How long you gonna keep doing it, man?
I keep doing it until they tell me don't be coming up here no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not, you know, it pays, but it's, you know, that's not my main, you know, how I get my money. So it's more important to me. Like I said, it really is important to me to be that person who is the voice of a culture. You know what I'm saying? And because I can translate it, man. You know what I mean? I can articulate how we feel to that group in that setting. You know what I mean? I can articulate, you know, and translate hip hop culture and also rap music and rapping into a format that can be absorbed and then also applied. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy that I'm able to do that.
Hey, so have you had like any of your students like go on and do something and like keep in touch with you and kind of tell you what they're doing and stuff?
You know, they keep in touch with me for a minute, man. I've had a couple of them. You know, Mike Posner, if you know him, he's a kid who, so Mike Posner came through the class. Me and Mike Posner were making music together before he even got to my class. He was a freshman. Back in the days, like the only people that could really even get in my class were seniors. You know what I'm saying? For the first probably 10 years I taught, if you weren't a senior, you couldn't even get in my class. You know what I'm saying? It was full, you know, and the seniors went first. Now it's a little bit different now because it's only every semester. So the word of mouth is a little bit different. But, you know, Posner, I've had, you know, a few big athletes, you know, from Duke, you know, come through there at times. And so they've been interesting. But the main thing, man, is like when you see somebody who's going to end up being a stockbroker or somebody who's going to end up being a doctor or a neurosurgeon or something like that, spitting bars. You know what I'm saying? And really getting into hip hop. You know, one of the other things we do is every day we do hip hop headlines, right? And hip hop headlines is a thing where I have them, you know, log in and see what's happening on Hip Hop DX or see what's happening on SOHH or, you know, one of these hip hop websites and get that information because, you know, hip hop is it's a living thing. It's not dead. It's not something we're reading about. And that's the only thing that, you know, it's happening. So you got to know what's happening now. And so what I try to do is incorporate that into their life. so that they're always following hip hop for the rest of their life on some level. You know what I'm saying? And when they see an article about hip hop, they're gonna read it, or they're gonna subscribe to some of these websites, or they're gonna make sure that they're reading these articles on a regular basis. So
yeah, man, current events is very much a big part of hip hop, man. For real.
Yeah. It's just constantly evolving, constantly changing, and the stories behind the scene, give you the context for the songs. So,
right.
And the videos and, all the drama that's going on. It's just a big soap opera, man. You know what I mean?
So with your class up there at the school, do you feel like that's the proper representation, or does there need to be something else up there?
I mean, you can never, Knife still teaches, he teaches a class at Duke, and his, I think he teaches a production class now. There's also a history of rap class at Ninth, and another professor, Mark Anthony Neal, who's also an author. They teach over at Duke as well. You've got, like I said, Desana Hano. I think he was teaching at St. Aug at some point. I know that Pierce was teaching something over at UNC Chapel Hill. So, you in my opinion, and all of those people are authentic representatives of hip hop, just like me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of them spit like me, son. You know what I'm saying? But,
right.
But we're all the real deal. You know what I mean? We're all the real deal. And when you go to these other places, hip hop's being taught in so many different places, man, that I think that anytime you can have different representations, different people, I think that's good. Diversity is the spice of life, man. And hip hop is super diverse. Of course, it was created by Black folks and Latino folks, earlier in the days. But at this point, hip hop belongs to the world, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It started in the Bronx, but you can't really keep it from anybody. So I think that the more people that can represent it, the better. I'm happy to be one of them. I'm happy to be a pioneer in it. Like I said, when I started teaching hip hop, it was very new, on the collegiate level. But now, there are high school teachers that use it in order to try to reach their students. And I think it's a universal language in a lot of different ways, man. So.
After hearing you talk about it, man, it sounds like Duke probably got one of the best hip hop programs in the country.
We've got a good one, man. Again, my class is the only one in the music department, but the other ones deal with the music, and they do a fantastic job. A lot of students will end up taking both classes because they get something different. It's not the same. Knife Wonder does a production class. They bust out machines. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the class has a machine they get to load. They learn how to make beats. You know what I'm saying? And in my class, my class, you spitting. You know what I'm saying? Some kids in my class make the beats for their projects.
Okay.
I had a young lady made her first beat. It was fire. You know what I'm saying? Because I explained to them how to. One day I brought in the machine and I explained to them just. I was covering stuff. I'm hip hop, so I do all the elements. Knowledge, beatbox, and I can't really beatbox that good, brother. But I used to be able to beatbox better than I can now. But I do it all.
Hold on. I mean, because I ain't gonna just quickly gloss over the fact that you said you be spitting. So I want you to just speak a little bit about your origins in the Bull City and how you got to be. You know what I'm saying? Who's your OGs and stuff?
So it's I have a weird story, man. Because first of all, I'm from Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? So when I was growing up, it was DVS was around and Wink Moody. You know what I'm saying? They were the ones on the radio. And then you had the Busy Boys came up out of Winston. That was Ski Beats and Dana Lucci and all those folks that came up out of there. And then you had Brad Thompson, who was part of Yak Fu Front, was the first big group to come out of North Carolina.
Okay,
they were basically part of. They were basically part of Native Tongue. So those are the cats I came up with. But then I went to school in Atlanta, man. So a lot of my music formation and a lot of the grinding that I did originally was in Atlanta. And I eventually moved, back to Durham. I was born in Raleigh. I eventually moved back to Durham. When I got the opportunity to teach at Duke, but a lot of what I did was in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So the first big person I had on the record was somebody from Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? I won Atlanta source battles. I was a battle rapper. when I first tried to bust into the scene to get a name for myself. Yeah,
yeah,
so I was
speaking of names. Did you always go by J.Bully, or did you have another name before that?
I used to be Jugga the Bully, man. So like if you search either one, they should connect. And there's some old fake J.Bullies out there. I actually own the trademark. There's some fake J.Bullies out there.
Y'all fake J.Bullies, man. You know fake. Who you are.
Y'all got dashes. Y'all got spaces in your name. It's J.Bully, no spaces. They know who I am. You can look back, man. I'm the only one with the videos dating back in the 2000s and all that stuff. So, so I did a lot of battling out of Atlanta and kind of made a name for myself, and that gave me some connections in the music biz there. And a lot of the stuff I did was out there. But then once I came home, it was actually good because I had to kind of recreate myself or reestablish myself because I hadn't been on the underground scene at home. You know what I'm saying? I had been doing it elsewhere.
Right.
And then again, this is before the internet made it possible to, be everywhere at once. So, when I came back, it was kind of like I had to grind again. But at that point, I was seasoned. So people were like, "Oh my God, this dude is crazy." On the mic, stage performance was crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was fun, man. And I met a lot of people around here. I know, if you talk about anybody that was running around, 2005 to 2015, anywhere in the state, man, I probably ran across them because I was performing and going everywhere.
That's what's up.
Just establishing, putting mixtapes out, working with people. Ski Beats, I work with Ski Beats, on a lot of projects. I've worked with Black Jerus. I've worked with, a lot of different people, man. Naughty from Strange Fruit from back in the day. That's my man.
Strange Fruits, they dope, man.
Yeah, well, that was not Strange Fruits, Nasty Fruit. Was it Nasty Fruit?
Nasty Fruit.
Yeah, Nasty Fruit. One of the fruits, man. I rest in peace, Naughty, man. He killed me for not knowing the name of his group.
One of the purposes that I do this show for is to kind of tell the golden era heads that try to put them up on some music that's good, because a lot of the cats that's from our era, they work and they got families and stuff, and they still hip hop heads, but they ain't really got the time to dig into stuff, you know what I'm saying, and find the good music. So I try to being the type of person that I am, listen to all type of stuff, try to filter that out for people and just bring you the good people to check out. So is there any body that you've been listening to lately, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of on the newer side?
So it's interesting, man. I have my guilty pleasures, man, and one of them is like the whole Griselda scene. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Benny the Butcher, like I said, 38 Special. I kind of picked up on some of his stuff, and just from a lyrical perspective, and some of the beats that these guys are on, West Side Gun. Certainly the drug talk has its downfalls in our community, and I think that the guys that promote that and glamorize it to a certain extent, should take more responsibility. But at the same time, man, we don't hold Arnold Schwarzenegger responsible for his movies. You know what I'm saying? And it's entertainment. On the other side of things, just like a BMF show or a Power show, the 50 Cent is all, putting out. It's entertainment. And so from an entertainment perspective, I love the way these dudes paint these pictures, man. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody from that whole set, most of those guys are dope. Conway, you know what I'm saying? West Side Gun. If you listen to old hip hop,
I think they get accepted by the cats that consider themselves purists or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or the Backpacker Squad, or, you know what I'm saying? They get accepted by them. So I think that they in the right circle, you know what I'm saying, as far as representing a hip hop culture that, you know what I'm saying, that cats who favor lyricism could listen to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like Stove God Cooks, like it's just crazy to me, like some of the stuff they do. Right. Aside from that, I listen to all kinds of stuff, man. There's some stuff that I don't like, you know what I'm saying, because I'm just like, that's not creative enough. But if it's creative, I've never been one to really worry about the content because I can frame in context the content for myself. Right. You know, as a kid, you know, I used to listen to 2 Live Crew, but my parents are right there telling me, you know, they listen to it with me and be like, yo, boy, you know that ain't really how things are, right? You know what I'm saying? You know that you can't do that. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but like, you know, everybody loves Kendrick Lamar, but Baby Keem is dope. Baby Keem doesn't have the same content that Kendrick Lamar has, his cousin, but his album is dope to me. You know, that's on my playlist. I've also been getting into lately, man, I've been listening to some UK drill and grime. And so like Gigs is dope, a dope lyricist, you know what I'm saying? Again, a little bit on the gangster side of things, but a dope lyricist out of London. Heady One and, you know, Stormzy. And I've just been listening to a lot of that stuff, man, and just vibing off, you know, some different stuff because I was trying to figure, and here's how I go down these rabbit holes, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but you know, New York drill has obviously got really popular. You know, Chicago drill is a different animal, but New York drill is very similar to the UK drill, especially when you think about sonically. And so I just started kind of digging into it, and I saw Gigs on Vivo one day, and I was like, yo, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? That sound like some straight hip hop, because Gigs, the way it becomes palatable is that he doesn't really rap over like the drill beats like you hear in New York and London. He raps over like almost like just Southern or West Coast type beats. You know what I'm saying? So it's much more palatable for a US audience, and he's very you can understand him through the accent. So
that's dope. You've been listening to like some international stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, I traveled to Germany and did music, man. You know what I'm saying? I recorded in German. You know what I'm saying? I did like these, like people are doing the back and forth with Spanish. I was doing like some back and forth German stuff back in the day, man. Because for what I was trying to be weird, you know, German was available in middle school and high school, so I took that, and it so happens that I ran across some cats on the early internet, man, and you know I've done a lot of stuff, you know, a little bit overseas. Right. So, yeah.
So that's gonna have to dig into your archives a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard, man. But you search me, man, you can find some stuff now. You know, I see a lot of stuff on YouTube. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember making that record right there, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun, man. You know, especially like I ran a dude hit me up the other day, man, from I think he was from Sweden, you know what I'm saying? And we had done some stuff back in the days. He was like, you remember this song that you gave, you know, we put out on the album? I was like, oh man, I forgot all about that joint. It was like, I made the beat and everything way back in the day. It was crazy. And like, for instance, yeah. So like, he's one of the dudes that he wanted to remaster my first album and put it out again. I'm like, sure, man, let's share some profits, you know, let's do it, you know? So it's really cool, man, when you look at, you know, a lifetime of living this music, living this culture, and all the things you leave in the dust, you forget about a lot of things. But you know, when it comes back up, you know, I'm proud of the stuff I did, man. Some of the stuff I was saying was stupid, but you know, I was young, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't always know what you talk about, but you know, it was certainly from a creative perspective, and I you know, I'm proud of the stuff I was able to do. Yeah.
That's good, man. So I'm getting pretty close probably to my time expiration because I'm just rocking the free version of Zoom right now. So
hey, bro, I feel you on that, brother. Ain't no need. It's free. If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah. Hey, so I just want to give you the opportunity to promote anything that you want to promote. Let folks know anything that you're pushing or how to get in touch with you. Just
So for sure. On all social media, man, I'm Bully City. So BULLYCITY. So one word. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You know, that's you don't know me well enough to find me on Snapchat and none of that kind of stuff. But you know, TikTok. But that's where I am.
Okay.
I recently put out an album called Timeless that dropped in August. Okay. And before that, we put out an album called Loud Music. Both of them with a producer named DJ Big Problems out of Cleveland. We just got a good vibe. Loud Music is more like on like some Southern hip hop type shit, and then you know, Timeless is much more on a timeless hip hop, you know, underground boom bap, type of vibe.
Right.
2 different projects. You worked on a cover for me that's dope, and you think that album may never come out. It's because I keep redoing it because I got the album got to be as dope as the cover. You know what I'm saying? But I got an album called Future Vintage coming out, man. And, I'm gonna try to get out first part of 2022. And then from there, man, I might just I might fall back a little bit and just try to produce and mix. You know what I'm saying? Because I love doing that stuff so much too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I reminded myself, I've been making beats since the 90s. So it's something I've always done. I tend to gravitate towards dope producers and work with them, on whole projects, because I think that's just super dope. I love that people do that now more, where you're working with one producer through a whole project. You know what I'm saying? Because it just gives you, it pushes both of you to be more creative than you were on the last song y'all did together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that type of vibe. So you'll catch me doing that. I've done, a few of those types of projects over, my lifetime. But right now, man, I just like making beats. My son, I got my 13-year-old son makes beats, you know what I'm saying? So I want to try to help him, I kind of get into this thing. So I got to dive deeper into it, so that's kind of
still doing the radio show too?
So I'm waiting for a WXDU to get back online for community members. I teach at Duke, but I'm still considered a community DJ because XDU is a student-run station.
Right.
And so as soon as the COVID protocols allow us to get back on, I'm still, I'm still good to go. I've taken all my tests. You know what I'm saying? I'm still good to go. But the FCC stuff, we got to know and everything up there. So I'm just kind of waiting for everything to get back online for the community DJs, and hopefully I can get my slot back. 10 o'clock Saturday nights on WXDU. I do an old school mix up there, man. So.
All right, well, let me know when you get back on, man, so I can come hang out with you, man.
Come back through, man. You like one of the only guests that ever came up there, man. Everybody else partying on Saturday night, listening to the radio. You came through, so I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, that's what's up. I had fun with you, bro, for real.
Yes, sir. It was fun, man. I had a good time, man, for sure.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go, man. But again, man, I appreciate you getting on the show with me.
Yeah, man.
I respect you from like your whole history in hip hop. Like I said, you like one of my big homie OGs. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
I just like being around you, and you know what I'm saying.
Hey, man.
Knowledge and stuff, bro. For real.
Hey, fam, it's all good. This is what it's about, man. Vibe. We've always had a good vibe, and it's because we both love hip hop, man. It's clear. Look at everything behind you, man. That's history behind you right there. I know it is. You already know. I used to come in class like, let me talk to you about vinyl. Vinyl is the big CD, the big black CD that you put the needle on. You know what I'm saying? But that's real talk, though, man. It's good to be in your presence too, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you again, man. Much love to you and the fam. Have a good Thanksgiving, and y'all eat good and stay safe and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, man. Don't forget the Native Americans when you're eating your turkey either, brother. You know what I'm saying? I always got to put that out there. Yeah. Hey, knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. But enjoy yours too, man. And we'll catch up soon, homie.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Be safe.
You too.